Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. It's great to see so many of you have taken some time out of your busy day to attend this webinar. Apologies for the delayed start. We have got on top of the technical issues now. So FoodStarter is now in its 4th year, and it's such an incredible opportunity to take your business to the next level. For the next hour or so, we'll cover what the judges are looking for and how you can put your best foot forward with your entry. So we have 3 panelists today, and some of the wider team in the background are available to support with an interactive Q&A session at the end. So a little about myself. I am Tracey Sheehy, and I lead the business development area for FoodSouth, which is the South Island arm of the New Zealand Food Innovation Network. So we help businesses to scale up production of innovative food and beverage products. I will be telling you a little bit more about this fantastic competition and some of the things it's helpful to consider when embarking on your product development journey. Joining us also, it's really important to know what New World supermarkets are looking for, and we're so glad to be able to bring you insights from Sally Williams, who is the Foodstuffs North Island Grocery Category Manager. Hi, Sally. We'll also be hearing from Cleo Gilmour of Lilo Desserts. So Cleo is the GM Sales and Marketing and the 2021 winner of the startup category last year. So thanks, Cleo, for sharing your experience with us. So lastly, we're going to be answering some of the questions you've submitted, as well as opening up the floor for an interactive Q&A session. So please feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A section, and we'll do our best to address them at the end of the session. If there's anything that we can't cover or it's relating to a specific inquiry, you can get in touch with me after the session. So just a note to let you know that this is being recorded, and it's going to be available to everyone who has registered afterwards. So it's also being live streamed on Facebook, thanks to our friends at Ministry of Awesome. So Ministry of Awesome are a principal partner for the FoodStarter competition. Thanks to them. So a little bit more about FoodStarter. So it was founded by Ministry of Awesome and Foodstuffs South Island back in 2018. So over the years, it has expanded and evolved into 2 categories and a nationwide competition in 2021. In 2022, we are opening it up to any product which can be sold in a supermarket. So wouldn't be possible without the support of Foodstuffs and Ministry of Awesome and all the sponsors that are here today to support and provide part of that prize package. So the categories that are available to enter are, if you're a startup, you're a young, innovative company and you've got an established product. So you might be selling it online, you might be at the local farmers market, and you have the ambition and resources to grow. So you may have been in business for about a year or so. It varies. So there's the startup category, and then there's the small supplier category. So that is if you're already registered as a New World vendor and you're selling to a small number of stores. And what we're looking for there for the winners of the small supplier category is you have the resources and ability to grow rapidly to supply all New Worlds. So those are the 2 categories. We'll get into a bit more detail and hopefully part of what you take away from this competition, if you're trying to this webinar, if you're trying to decide which category you fit into, by the end of the session, you should have a better idea which one to apply for as well. So the all-important prize package, as I've said, this is an incredible opportunity to grow and scale your business. It covers everything from product development and scale-up support all the way through to looking at packaging, supply chain, support on branding and marketing, and then ranging in store. So there's 146 New Worlds nationwide. And you will be getting launch strategy support from the Foodstuffs merchandising team. the winner of each category receives a prize package. It's worth about $70,000. So you get brand support and development and PR specifically for your launch. And you also get a fully paid headquarters for up to 4 team members for a year at either Christchurch's Te Ohaka Centre for Growth and Innovation or in the North Island Grid, Auckland. So the team at the Ministry of Awesome will be providing startup incubation program support, and that's by the activation team there at the Ministry of Awesome. And the New Zealand Food Innovation Network will be providing specialist product development and scale-up support, and potentially even small-scale contract manufacturing for the winner. Get design and marketing support from Strategy Creative, and a 2-hour social media workshop with socialites, and also a 2-hour media consulting session with PhD Media. So it's a huge step up and a huge helping hand to get fledgling and small businesses to the next level of their growth aspirations. So an amazing opportunity. And this could be you. So the remainder of this webinar is dedicated to giving you tips and insights into how you can put your best foot forward and submit a strong entry. You'll be hearing about what we're looking for in terms of your business, and more importantly, the product or products that you may be submitting into the competition. So Food Bowl and FoodSouth are part of the Food Innovation Network, and we help get successful products in market by providing a range of product development and scale-up support. So we're experts in our field, and I'd like to firstly share a few more details about what we do so you can get a better understanding. You've heard of Food Bowl, FoodSouth, part of our wider Food Innovation Network. There's also Food Waikato and Food Pilot at Massey University. So we have a range of production and R&D facilities across New Zealand for hire. And our whole purpose is to support the food and beverage industry with scale up and commercialization, and giving support around that pathway to market. Often we work with larger businesses who are looking at investing in specialist processing equipment. So it might be that they can do trials at our facilities to help make sure that that product's working and that that's the piece of kit for them. So it helps de-risk that capital investment. We can also help bridge that gap between, say you're in a commercial kitchen and you want to move to a contract manufacturer, but you haven't quite got the ability to meet that contract manufacturer's minimum order quantity. You need to grow your sales and validate your consumer demand. So that's where we can support with some smaller scale contract manufacturing. So just to bridge that gap. So we are a network in that we've got different ownership structures and operating models, but we all work together to get the best outcomes for New Zealand food and beverage. We're really well connected both within industry to contract manufacturers, ingredient and packaging suppliers, and other specialist consultants. And we're also quite close and have partnerships with various universities and research institutes. We work with economic development agencies nationwide, New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, and other government agencies such as MPI to really help grow the success of New Zealand food and beverage. And ultimately we want to see these amazing products exported for the good of our economy. So what you're all here for is to learn what makes a strong entry. So first of all, it's not just an idea. So what the judges are looking for is that you're currently selling a product or you're about to start. So as mentioned earlier, you might be just online, you might be at the farmer's market or your local market, but you actually have a product and not just an idea. If you do have a concept, that's not necessarily going to eliminate you from the competition, as long as it's an incredible concept that's really well defined. So by defined, we want to be seeing that you understand the market and the consumer landscape, you know what the trends and consumer preferences are. You've got a good understanding who will buy it, why they might buy it, what drives their purchasing decisions, and how much they might be prepared to pay. So what we're really looking for with a well-defined concept is you have a good understanding of the size of the opportunity and how much you can potentially sell. Now that goes not just for those with a really strong concept, but even those that are currently selling or you're about to start. The judges want to be seeing that you've got that understanding of the market and consumer landscape and where your product fits within that. So part of that is that we're looking for an innovative product. Now, Sally's going to be talking more about this, but we're not just looking for another grandma's chutney recipe on the shelf. We want something unique. What is your point of difference? What's your competitive advantage? Get out, walk the shelves, see what's there. Is your product filling a gap or a need? So Sally will be talking a bit more around the innovative side of things. And as well, Sally will be covering the sales potential. So that's really critical, that it's got a broad appeal, and Sally's going to elaborate more on that. We want to see that you've got a really strong business vision. So by that, you've got a business plan, you understand your margins and your profitability. We want to see entrants that are ambitious and dedicated and passionate. You need that commitment to success. Scaling a food product, even if it seems simple, it can be a really difficult task with a number of compromises and decisions that need to be made along the way. It's costly, both resource-wise, time, with your own time, finance, or you need to have the ability to secure finance to be able to ensure that you can scale this product when that time comes, when you're ready. So we really want to see entrants that have that commitment to success and the ability to secure resources or build the capability to succeed. The other thing that's really important is a clear pathway to scale up. So you might have a really incredible product, but if it takes forever to make or has super odd ingredients that are really hard to get from a supply chain point of view, or there could be a number of hurdles. So you need to understand where are you going to make this? What might your options be to manufacture the product? You don't have to have a full detailed plan, but you need to have some appreciation of what it's going to take to get this product to the masses. So it's understanding things like how might you package it if it needs to be made somewhere and transported and packaged somewhere else. What are some of the barriers that you might encounter for supply and distribution? For example, say it has to be stored frozen, but you want to sell it on the cold shelf, so it needs to be sold chilled. How might you go about that defrosting process, or just think about what are some of the difficulties that you may encounter, and have a rough plan or an idea about how you might tackle some of those. How will you get the product to consumers? Now, part of this prize package, obviously it's and I don't want for this to be overwhelming and scary. This is part of winning this prize, is that there are people there within Foodstuffs and within NZFIN and the wider sponsors to help you work through this. But we're looking for entries that can appreciate the sorts of things that you need to be considering before you embark on this journey. So we want to see that you've at least given it some thought. So not just an idea, or if it is an idea, we want a really clear, well-defined idea. We want to see it innovative and really understanding your consumer. It's got to have sales potential and growth potential. And we would like to see a really strong business vision and an understanding of how you might scale up that product. So further to that, and with some really interesting and important insights. We're really lucky to have Foodstuffs supporting this. And I'm now going to hand over to Sally, who will be detailing what Foodstuffs is looking for.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Tracey. Wow, FoodStarter is such a cool event, and yeah, it's really nice to be here. It's great that we've got 61 people on the line today. So I'm Sally Williams. I'm a category manager at Foodstuffs North Island. I have a wide array of categories. I look after vitamins and nutrition, bulk foods, canned and frozen fish, and lunchbox. We've got a fantastic team of category managers right across the supermarket, and work really closely with our colleagues at Foodstuffs South Island too. So Tracey's touched on a lot of key points, and just to reiterate what we've been talking about, something different and innovative and on trend for our customers. So if you think about things like wellness and permissible indulgence, which gets talked about a lot in my categories, really think about what is the point of difference that you are bringing to market for our shoppers? What needs are they meeting? It's just really important, as Tracey has mentioned, to really just put that customer lens on it. That's what we do when we're talking to all suppliers about MPD. Scalability has been spoken about, and it is really important that you are able. 146 New World stores. We're a big outfit, and it is really important that you do have a robust plan to meet that demand for our customers. So what is really important to our shoppers is that they can find the stock on shelf. So that it's pretty fundamental to being able to deliver to our shoppers. And in terms of relevance for the customer, so we are looking for products that will be shopped by a lot of customers. It can't be so niche that there are only a select few shoppers out there looking for this product. We do want something that is going to move from our shelves and is going to meet those customer needs. And in thinking about your product and the pitch, we are looking, and we're seeing shoppers all the time looking for products that help them, right? So if we think about, we're all becoming much more time poor, so it might be something to assist them. It might be something to assist them from a health and well-being perspective. What is it? And it comes back to, everything circles back to the innovation and the customer needs and the on trend. How is your product going to meet a need for our shoppers? Sustainability obviously is incredibly important, and right from the outset we want to see what considerations have you made in this space. So in terms of production, your packaging, recycling, compostability, all of those key things. And it becomes really important in our marketing around the products that make it to shelf, and our social responsibility. So sustainability is really front of mind for us, and really important for you to focus on it as well with your products, and to share that with us, tell us the story. Coming back to, being a product that we want to see in lots of our shoppers' baskets, we do talk about value. So it has to be a value proposition. That doesn't mean it needs to be a cheap product. It just means it has to offer good value to our shoppers. So, premium is okay, but it has to be a relevant price point. And if there is anything in the market that is similar, pricing does have to be relative. It has to be affordable. We want to see people being able to purchase your products. So really, just consider your pricing strategy, consider your promotional strategy. Is it a product that could sit on shelf at an everyday price, or do you think it would be better to have a high-low promotional program? Think about things like that too, and think about those price points that really matter to customers. We have price cliffs. Think about those and where you're going to absolutely pitch your product. And look, heritage and provenance are really important. You know, we are a proudly 100% New Zealand owned and operated supermarket. We're incredibly proud of that. We have, over the journey of FoodStarter, worked with incredible companies that share that with us, and it is an incredible marketing opportunity to speak to that, to support that. And that's, you know, incredibly important to us as well. So, you know, I look forward to having some questions in the FAQ session at the end. So I'll hand back to Tracey.
Thanks, Sally. They were some really useful insights, and I hope people have been furiously taking notes in the background, because these supermarket category managers know their stuff. So thank you, Sally. And without the support of New World and Foodstuffs, we wouldn't be able to be doing what we're doing now, which is introducing some of the past winners for you. So the first FoodStarter kicked off in the South Island, as we mentioned, in 2018. So this is to give you an idea of some of the products that have won in the past. So the Brothers Green Hempy Bar was a plant-based low sugar bar which used natural flavors and ingredients from local New Zealand businesses. It used viberry, blueberries, and blue coconut. So it came in chopped coconut and berry flavors, and it's a natural New Zealand protein bar. In 2019, we had Ananda vegan sausages. So they had the Bambino launch, which was a mildly spiced Italian sausage. A really incredible chewy texture and crispy skin. It also took out the Best New Zealand Vegan Sausage at the Vegan Sausage Awards. So again, incredible, innovative, on-trend products, and ticking those boxes for what consumers are looking for. In 2021, when we diversified into 2 categories, Kaitahi as One was our small supplier winner. So Kaitahi as One are an iwi-owned business, and they are making frozen superfood smoothie drops using native Māori ingredients like puha and kawakawa. So this product here, they've done all the formulation and all the hard work. You just need to shake and enjoy. So no need for a blender. And I'm about to let Cleo Gilmour take the stage, but first we'll put in a plug for Lilo Desserts and their incredible plant-based cheesecake. So Lilo were the startup winner, the startup category winner in 2021. This product is made with a gluten-free biscuit base and a dairy-free coconut and cashew cream cheese layer. And it comes in a range of fruit toppings, which utilize fruit from orchards, which would otherwise have gone to waste. So really, again, on trend, solving a need. So those are the sorts of products that we're looking for. So as I mentioned, Cleo's the GM sales and marketing for Lilo. So they started with a cheesecake. They've expanded their mission to create wonderful from the weird by taking imperfect produce and turning it into a snacking sensation. So Cleo, I'll leave it over to you to share your FoodStarter experience.
Awesome. Thank you for that wonderful intro, Tracey. And yeah, guys, I hope you are taking notes, because all of these key points that Sally and Tracey have been talking about, the judges on the night will ask you about after you've pitched, or they will be looking at them in your applications. So definitely take them into consideration. So yeah, kia ora, I'm the GM and one of the co-founders of Lilo, and these are our gorgeous little, we call it Desserts 2.0, so kind of a next generation of snacking and plant-based cheesecakes. And it's pretty buzzy to me to think that this time last year I was on this webinar, right, like frantically being like, oh, what are they looking for, what do I need to pitch, and here I am going to launch these cheesecakes nationwide later this year. So it's been totally a life-changing and massively pivotal event for Lilo to win FoodStarter. It's crazy to think that you can just suddenly be able to be launched across supermarkets nationwide. It's kind of the dream, right, for a food business. So it's been really exciting. I guess a little bit for us since winning FoodStarter last year. We've taken on some investment We've been accepted into an international alternative protein food accelerator. So 2 achievements that we're really proud of, and definitely something that was hugely spurred on by winning FoodStarter. You know, to be able to say that you've been recognised by New World and Foodstuffs as having this amazing product is a big one for investors and accelerators that they look at. So yeah, even before we've launched, like, that kudos has gotten us a long way. It's been awesome working alongside the Foodstuffs and FoodStarter team. They're total experts in what they do, and to be able to go through this process with them, learning about scale up, learning about getting into supermarkets, has been really useful. I'm sitting right now in Auckland Unlimited in the grid. I have got a co-working space. It's like living the life, being able to ring up Al and the team at Food Bowl, ask questions. It's been so unbelievably fantastic to be in that New Zealand food sort of innovation network and connecting with other food businesses. So, you know, you get your product on shelf, but the other doors and connections it opens up is really awesome. I think that particularly on the FoodStarter night as well, meeting the other participants at the start, you're all kind of really nervous and you're sort of sussing each other out, but made really good connections with the teams there, and I'm still in touch with a lot of them since, and we call each other up to have a rant or, you know, ask some questions and, you know, share hardship stories. So it's cool that it's a competition, but you know, build the connections through it, I think. So I guess I would say fantastic you guys are on this webinar. Definitely apply, because obviously, you know, I'm in the privileged position saying that we've won FoodStarter and the good things that come from that. But to give you an idea, the majority of finalists, a lot of them are also being ranged in various new worlds around the country as well, because there's category managers that turn up to the night and they're looking at not just the winner, but also products that they maybe want for their category. The recognition that you get for being a semi-finalist, even, you know, that's an awesome achievement that you can put on pitch decks and all sorts of things. And I think just being in front of New World, getting your product out there, practicing this kind of application, pitch decks is really important. In terms of what I thought on the night the judges were really looking for and probably really stood out, biggest one's your product. Like, it's got to taste awesome, they've got to love it, and all of those things they're looking for in terms of innovation, solving a need. Practice your pitch a lot. Practice it until you can't stand it, and then practice it some more, because it's not easy getting up in front of a bunch of judges and a bunch of other teams and really pitching yourself like that. And the practice pitches really stood out. So I would say definitely invest behind that. And yeah, think about the questions like your target audience, the packaging, show that you've thought about the scale up process, because I think New World is investing behind your product that they want to see on the shelf, but also the team that's going to be implementing this. So really important that you show that capability there. But yeah, I guess you've got to be in to win. This was such an awesome turning point and sort of accelerator in Lilo's journey. So I'm really excited to see some of the applications that come through, and happy to answer any questions moving forward. Cool, thank you.
Thanks, Cleo, for sharing that. And yeah, absolutely. Just want to touch on that point, the camaraderie that's formed and the relationships that you make on the night. It is a competition, but it's also a journey that you're on, and you learn a lot, and just the skills and knowledge that you build up from becoming a winner and moving on. And like you say, you don't even need to win the category, because a lot of those finalists are being ranged in new worlds, and it's supported them on their growth journey. So, and speaking of growth, it's very exciting times for Lilo as they are expanding to have a new product coming soon. So watch this space. It's always important to have other things in the pipeline. So that's really exciting. Thanks, Cleo.
Thanks, Tracey.
So just finally, before we move to the Q&A section, just some closing thoughts from Marion Johnson, who's the Chief Awesome Officer at the Ministry of Awesome. So food and beverage products with genuine innovation built in are our high value exports of the future. The hardest task for bold and ambitious Kiwi food and beverage startups is significant customer validation. And this is exactly what FoodStarter delivers in one fell swoop. So Marian's absolutely right. By being able to get your product in front of customers nationwide is just incredible. And it's such a step up for ambitious food and beverage businesses to be able to get on the shelf. So incredible opportunity. Take this time now. I can see we've got a few questions coming in. Please make sure you use the Q&A section as opposed to the chat, because we'll be going there first. But just to start off with some of the questions that we had submitted ahead of time, and thanks to those who had sent those in. So the first question, and there was a bit of a theme on this, was, do you need to have final product packaging? So specific to packaging, the answer is no. As long as you've thought about what you might package it in. So because as we mentioned, when you go on this journey of manufacturing and scale up, there's always going to be considerations and compromises along the way. So you may want sustainable packaging, but if you're doing something in glass, how does that work from a food safety or transport or recycling or carbon footprint perspective? Or if you want home compostable, that's great, but there's also a trade-off with the need to have barrier packaging and food safety, particularly for some of those sensitive products, meat and dairy and that sort of thing. So absolutely no, you don't need to have final product packaging, but just have an idea of how you would like to see it packaged. And that's what the wider team is here for, is to help you work towards that goal of what your vision is for that product, but working within the limitations of cost and practicality and everything else. And that's part of the product development journey. The second question is, I'm a micro business. Is my current business stage too early to enter? Well, really only you can answer that. And I hope that by taking part in this webinar to date, I think if you're confident you've got a strong product and you've got the potential to scale and you have the resources and commitment to support this, then there's every reason you should enter. If you're unsure, by all means, take this next year to do some more work to build up to that point that you need to be to then have a really strong entry next year, and we really encourage that. And this is product development is a journey, and it can take a long time and a lot of resource. So while it's a fast-moving consumer environment as well, you've got to find that balance. So only you know what's right for you, but we encourage all entries, and you know what the judges are looking for now. Another question that came through was, what help can I expect for product distribution? So I touched on the fact that we'd be looking for entrants that have considered how you might get it to market. And Sally, I'll hand this one over to you to answer as part of, I guess, provide a bit more details around what that launch support is from New World and Foodstuffs and what help entrants might expect.
Great, thanks Tracey. Yeah, distribution is really key for us, and look, this is as part of being a winner of FoodStarter. You'll be engaging with the category management team as well as other people within our business, so marketing and PR. But from a category manager perspective, we'll work with you to give you the best options around the supply to store. So, and obviously every product is different, so whether it be chilled, frozen, ambient, so there's lots of considerations that go into this, and that's absolutely a big part of us working with you for the best way to get into our stores. Yeah, and obviously, and get your product in at the optimal condition, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sally. I'll just bring up some of the other Q&As that have been submitted. Now, I might not be able to answer all of these here. First one is, can previous participants who were unsuccessful enter again? And what advice would you give them to boost their entry? So absolutely enter again. If you missed out last year, I think just going through the process and just what you've learned so far, absolutely enter again. Make sure that you have got that, you're ticking those boxes, meeting the consumer needs. It's an on-trend, innovative product. You've got that business plan, and you've done you understand your market, you understand your sales channels, your route to market. So absolutely just doing some of that foundation work. If you were unsuccessful, or if you are unsuccessful this year, you can get feedback as to maybe where you could have improved or where you may have missed out. So there is the potential to get feedback too, to see where you may have gone astray in the process. So I'm just going, hopefully that's answered that adequately. So second question is around pre-revenue and hoping to be selling online by late Feb. Got the ability to scale immediately. So honestly, that's not too early to apply. If you're confident you've got the ability to scale and you're going to be selling online by late Feb, that's absolutely fine, because part of that criteria is you're either selling or about to sell. So that's fine. The next one is, can an already established business enter the startup competition with a new product idea? That really depends on where your business falls. If you are already ranging, if you're already ranged in a limited number of new worlds, even if you've got a new product, you should enter the category that is the small supplier category. So that's, you always want to see new products coming through, because consumers get bored. They want things evolve, new flavors, new products, and it helps with that brand recognition and building your brand. So rather than just being known for one product. So no, so don't recommend the startup category. If you're an established business and you're already supplying new worlds, then enter the small supplier category. Next question is, will you consider products that use imported ingredients only, not local? Absolutely. The main thing is that these products are innovative. So while we do look for, and Sally touched on heritage and provenance being important, so it is important, and it's what consumers are looking for, to have that local provenance, and consume conscious of carbon footprint and that sort of thing. But honestly, New Zealand can be quite limited in our ability to make all these ingredients. So the reality is, for a lot of food products, we have no options but to import some required ingredients. So again, just if you get through and the judges might challenge you on, say, you're using all imported ingredients, just be prepared to answer why you're not using local, and to show that the thinking and consideration has gone on there. So a further question regarding scale.
I can take this one, Tracey.
Perfect.
So yeah, the question is, if you're to be successful in the winter and ranged in all our stores, how many weeks worth of stock would we need per store, and backup stock in the DCs if it was DC ranged? Which is a great question, right? We're getting into the real detail now, so thank you for that. Look, again, it is product specific, so we would work with you to look at, rate of sale per store. We'd look at what the launch plans looked like. We'd work with you to give you the best guide. So I can't kind of fully answer your question now, because it is product specific. But if you were successful, you would need to have, at least at least 3 weeks worth of stock up front for every store, so 146 stores, and have a plan to be producing and manufacturing and have some buffer stock to support. Like I mentioned before, out of stock is not something that we want to see gaps on shelves. So, but that's great detail that we will work with you to work out what that forecasting is. But you do need to be thinking about that now, obviously. So, do be thinking of 3 weeks to a month's worth of stock available. Should you win, and be ranged in all our New World stores.
Thanks, Sally. And there is some time, and it can take time to scale as well. And the main thing with having that stock, and while we've mentioned about resource or ability to secure finance, and this moves through to the last question that I can see around what business help and advice is available for securing finance and resource to scale up. So part of that stock build, you will need to have the cash flow behind you, because you're not going to be getting that cash flow back until that product is sold and in your pocket. So there is that delay with so it's making sure that you've got enough working capital to see you through that launch period, from buying your ingredients and packaging and storing it, and having enough resource there. So regarding the question around business help and advice for securing finance and resource to scale up, that is where the Ministry of Awesome and their incubator accelerator program comes in. They can provide that guidance around getting finance, getting investment, and getting support for that scale up, and how you manage that, because it will be different for each business, whether you bootstrap or equity share or what have you. So there's a whole lot goes into that as well. So that is all the questions we've got now. I'll just quickly look through the chat section just to see if there's any there that we may have missed. No, thanks everyone for directing those questions there.
I think there's nothing in the chat, Tracey, that really needs to be brought up, I don't think.
Thanks, Al. Quite good timing in the end then. So in terms of next steps, the entries do close on the 20th of Feb. So I hope that by watching this webinar, it's given you a really good background and understanding to help you put your best foot forward for what the judges are looking for. Once entries close, the semi-finalists will be announced, and then there's a detailed application process goes on from there with a long form application. And from that, the top 10 will be selected for the final pressure cooker event. So it's a Dragon's Den style event, but in a very friendly and collaborative environment. So as Cleo said, it's a really good night and really exciting time. So we look forward to the winners being announced at that final event. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. We hope you found it useful. If there is anything else you think of afterwards, feel free to reach out to me via New Zealand Food Innovation Network, and otherwise good luck, and we look forward to seeing these products coming through in the next wee while and on shelves. So thanks everyone.